What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. I saw something today and it really got my attention. And I want to talk about it because this is kind of interesting. And to some people, it'll probably be a little bit surprising. It's a little bit surprising to me. I knew it was something that was happening through the first couple weeks. But after week 3, to see it continue to be a trend is, well, I think we need to deep dive into this a little bit. So, before I get into what I saw, I want to let everybody know, quick little programming announcement. There will be a stream for previewing the Lions game with the Hawks Nest tonight, but we are bumping it to 8 o'clock. That way, most of the stream will happen after Thursday Night Football is over, and people will be able to come and watch it without watching football in the background or watching us in the background with the football game or whatever. We've noticed that the later the streams are, the more people show up. And that makes sense with something like Thursday Night Football going on. So we're going to try to bump the Thursday stream to 8 o'clock and see if things pick up. So, 8 o'clock tonight. Okay, so what we have here on the screen is pass rush data for defensive tackles across the NFL through 3 weeks. Through 3 weeks, all the games so far. If you scroll down, it says week 2, but this is a typo, which has been documented a couple times now. This should be week 3. So this is every game that's been played in the NFL to this point. And this chart tracks 2 things. The pass rush win rate for each player, which is how often they're beating their man, and their double team rate, which is how often each player is getting double teamed. So, for instance, over here on the left side, you have 0.4, which is 40%, and then way over here you have 0.8, which is 80%. So basically, the vast majority of NFL defensive tackles get double teamed anywhere from 30 to 80% of their plays. So, if you take a look at this chart and you look for the Seahawks, you'll notice 2 pretty stark things. One, neither is doing well as a pass rusher. The average would be right about here, just under 0.1. Poona Ford's in like the 0.6 range, or 0.06-ish. And Quinton Jefferson's all the way down here at like 0.03, 0.02. But more interesting than even that maybe would be the double team rate, where both players are near the league lead in getting double teamed over 70% of the time. So the pass rush win rate, I don't think that's terribly surprising. These guys are not making splash plays in the backfield. Poona Ford has no sacks. He's not creating a lot of havoc in the backfield. Quinton Jefferson, same. He had a sack against the Falcons, but other than that, he's been relatively quiet. So the pass rush win rate part of this is not surprising, but the double team rate is interesting. And when I saw this, I kind of thought to myself, okay, what does this mean in context? Poona Ford is getting double teamed more than all but approximately 7 or 8 defensive tackles in the NFL. And Quinton Jefferson is getting double teamed more than anyone outside of Daquan Jones and Grover Stewart. So both of these guys, both of our starting defensive tackles, or the defensive tackles that play the most significant amount of snaps for us, are drawing constant double teams, close to 3/4 of the time, which means they must be getting double teamed both on the same play fairly often, which, thinking about it, that's what you want, right? Just in a vacuum. If you thought about your defense and you're like, okay, we have 2 defensive tackles that both draw frequent double teams. You're like, that's good, right? Because that means that your edge rushers are going to be one-on-one. That means the other teams are going to have to leave guys in to pass protect because they need to help their edge rush, their tackles, because they're double teaming on the interior. And yet, despite this nominally positive development, despite this promising statistic of getting double teamed more than just about anyone, the defense is still bad through 3 games. And not just the defense, the pass rush is bad. Darrell Taylor, he finally got on the board with a sack, but overall, he hasn't had a remarkable year. He's been atrocious against the run. In terms of pass rushing, it's been okay, but it's not been great. Now, Nwosu's playing pretty well, but he's kind of, in terms of pure pass rush, that's kind of it. We're getting a little bit from this guy and that guy. But you would think if your two starting defensive tackles are getting double teamed this much, there would be some pretty serious pressure getting created by the edge guys or by blitzers. When you're taking up attention, it should be creating great opportunities for everyone around you. But we're not seeing that. Nobody on this Seahawks team right now has more than one sack. And as a team, our pressure rate it's low. It was good against Denver, but since that Denver game, it was pathetic against the 49ers and pretty bad against the Falcons. So I was watching some of these plays, trying to get an idea of what was going on. Why is this not helping us? Why is it that both of our defensive tackles draw this much attention and we're still not creating pressure? So part of it is just we need Darrell Taylor, and maybe you could call out one or two other guys. Like, Boye Mafe's doing his job, but he's not exactly wrecking shop as a pass rusher yet, which is understandable. Mostly you would talk about Darrell Taylor. He just needs to play better. I see these plays where he is getting put in favorable situations and he can't take advantage, and he's overrunning the play. He's just got a little too much energy, and despite the opportunities afforded him by his defensive tackles, it's not really manifesting because he's just playing a little out of control. But I think more than even that, it's just this weird defense that we're using. And some people are going to say we're only doing this because Shelby Harris got hurt. And I do believe we're not using it nearly as well. We are using it way more than we wanted to because of Shelby Harris's injury. It's this weird front where you have two guys on the line. It's like a two-man defensive line. And you have both your edge players, and they're lined up like they're defensive linemen, but they're standing up like outside linebackers. It's a defense that we did see a little bit of in the preseason. So I don't think it can be said that we were forced into this because of an injury. We wanted to use this defense, and it basically leaves you with two defensive tackles, and you have the two outside edge guys just standing up. And I look at that formation, and it's like you're kind of obligated to double team the two defensive tackles because, in a manner of speaking, they're your only two defensive linemen. So yeah, you're going to throw two guys at that guy. You're going to go throw two guys at the other guy, and it's a problem against the run. Obviously, like every time we run that, they call it wide nine. Some people refer to that defense as the wide nine, and you get gashed on the run. But everybody knows that part of it. But it's also not creating nearly enough positive stuff in the pass rush either. So trying to break this down, trying to understand how these numbers bear out the way they do. That's the best way I can put it. I don't think this wide nine defense is working at all on any level. It created some decent pass rush against the Broncos, I guess. But we got to get more bodies actually on the defensive line with intent to take up blockers. Because right now we have the two defensive linemen who are absorbing a bunch of blockers, but then you have the edge rushers who their focus is actually getting into the backfield and make a play, which is good, but they need another defensive lineman to help draw attention. That is the best way that I can put it. It's kind of bizarre, right? Because neither guy seems to be playing well, right? Like Poona Ford is getting killed on PFF, and PFF loves Poona Ford. Okay, but according to them, right now he's having a pretty garbage season. Quinton Jefferson, same deal. He's having a garbage season. 43.5 PFF grade, bad, real bad. So neither of these guys are being positive players on a statistical level, an eye test level, an analytic level. But they're getting all these double teams, and normally you would just go, yeah, they're doing their job. They're drawing attention. They're pulling in blockers, so Darrell Taylor, Nwosu, Mafe, blitzing linebackers, blitzing defensive backs, have to worry about less blockers. And yet here we are, not really generating pressure through 3 games. So that's the best way I can put it. These two-man fronts that are kind of four-man fronts, but are kind of two-man fronts, it's just not working. And if Poona Ford and Quinton Jefferson are actually drawing double teams at this rate on their own merits, that is something that we should absolutely be able to take advantage of. And the fact that we're not right now, I mean, on a certain level, it does tell you that maybe these guys aren't as good as this double team rate indicates, but it also kind of has to make you think that there's something fundamentally wrong with the way this defense is playing right now. So Shelby Harris hopefully gets back soon. Maybe we'll see less of this defense, but honestly, I kind of don't want to see any of it because it doesn't work on any level for us right now. But I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to put this together because I saw this general sentiment after week 2, and it surprised me. But for it to continue to maintain after week 3, it just got me thinking about some stuff. It got me thinking about how, hey, what if these guys are actually drawing double teams because they're good players? What if, on their own merits, they warrant the double team? Because if you get another defensive lineman down there who's drawing more blockers' attention, then you just might be able to create more havoc on the edges and might be able to actually get something going to where you're making plays in the backfield. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think it is? Let me know if you think I'm off here. Let me know what you think of these two players. Let me know why you think we can't take advantage of this double team rate. Why is it happening? That's about the best I can say about it right now, though. It just seems to me that structurally, fundamentally, they're kind of getting double teamed by design, and it's not actually helping the team do much of anything. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Hawks Nest stream tonight at 8. Be there. See ya.